All right, so tonight we're back in the shop trying to get this Can-Am all ready, trying to get our window nets mounted and all that good stuff. And so we're doing a little bit of welding on here, and Emily's got a whole ton of welding questions for me, don't you? So I figured it'd be easier just to do a little welding lesson with her, just to go over some of the basics. What do you think? All right, Em, so first you were asking me what this green machine is, right? So what were you asking me?
What does it do?
This is the TIG welder, T-I-G. So tungsten inert gas. So the tungsten's right there. And basically what you do is you step on that foot pedal down there and you run it like this, hold it like that, and then with my other hand I would be adding the filler material. And so the more you press on that pedal, the hotter it gets, okay? The thicker you're welding through. It goes way more in depth than that, way more. But that's like the basic. And then it uses gas as a shielding gas. And then that's pure argon. Where this one right here is a mix of argon and CO2, carbon dioxide. So anyway, this is the MIG welder. That's the easiest one to use. Okay, Ems? So inside down there, there's a chart that tells you. So the settings are right here. So look down here. You see these? This is wire speed and then voltage. You have your wire speed and voltage. And then there's a chart inside there that tells you how thick, or how to adjust those for how thick of material that you're welding, right? Okay, so that chart, you look at, if you took this piece of material, we would just look at the chart down there on how thick it is to set it up. Now, I got this one memorized pretty good, so we don't have to go that far. So that's the super basics on setting up the MIG. And you know, we got the ground clamp, right? All right, so we put the ground clamp, we can just leave it on the table because it will travel through this metal table from these pieces. And then we got the MIG gun right here. Okay? All you do, pull this trigger, this wire comes out at the speed you set there, at the voltage you set, and you're basically gluing two pieces of steel together. Sound simple? All right, let's give this a try. Let's see if Ems can lay down a decent bead. All right, Ems, let's say we wanted to weld these two pieces of plate together with this MIG welder. All right, so what we're gonna do is demonstrate on the chalkboard over there. But what we can do, there's a couple different methods we can do. Once you get going, you're gonna pull the trigger, and then there's a couple different methods. There's the C method, where you just kind of do little C's back and forth. There's the cursive E, which is a more popular, where you're actually making kind of like little circles, and then people whip it a little bit more to get nicer looking circles. And then there's a really basic cheat that people do, where you just go forward, then back a little, forward, then back a little, forward. And that way it doesn't get as good a penetration, but it can work in certain situations. But basically, a lot of MIG welding is just knowing your voltage and your wire speed, and then just your technique with your hand-eye coordination. Now, you probably have better hand-eye coordination than me, so what you're going to want to do, you always don't want to like rest your arm on something to make it easier, you know? Like some people, I can't demonstrate with the camera, but I'll show you in a minute. So let's go try this over on the chalkboard. A line here. Each one of those lines is a different weld. So show me, if you were welding this and the chalk was the gun, show me the little C method. Nope, you don't stop. You remember, when you pull that trigger, it's not stopping. Yes. Yep. Well, see right here, that didn't go all the way across. Do you wanna go all the way across both of them? All right, on the next one, show me the cursive E method. Yeah. And then depending on how comfortable you get with that, it leaves, once you get good at that, it leaves nice little stack of dimes there that just goes like that. Now show me the back and forth method. Now you can see when you go back and forth like that, like if this is a weld puddle, you can see it's not gonna, you know, this is gonna get both sides of the plate good. If you do something like that, you're not actually getting very good coverage. So this one we don't want to do, right? All right, that's just like very seldom ever do something like that. So we're gonna focus on these two, right? All right, let's give it a shot. All right, we're just gonna start super basic here. So we've got these two plates together. See how they move around? Well, the first thing we're going to do is kind of tack weld them together really quickly. So what you're going to do, you kind of put those plates like that, and then you're going to grab this, and you're going to put your helmet down, and you're just going to, at this corner, you're just going to pull the trigger for like a second. But you have to be careful that that plate doesn't move when you do that. I'm going to hold the plate like this. Now you just simply try to tack weld the corner.
This one?
Yeah. Let me look at that. That's not bad, but do you see how, right here, you see how you missed the plate? So you want to get that in there just a little bit more. Hold on. Okay, try that. Okay, let's look at that. Now, this time, you're too high on the plate. Where you want the wire is right there. Okay? Hold on. Now let's try it again. Are you watching? See where that's at? Okay, see how it's... I started in between the wires, in between the two plates? Alright, try that. Okay, that started off good, but then you wandered off course there. Oh, okay. Well, with my right hand, this is what I do. So, what you're doing is it's moving all over the place, because you're like trying to do this. You do something like this to start. You get close, get in there, and then see how controlled that is? Okay? Can you try that?
Yeah.
It's not going to burn your arm. You got the gloves and everything else. Okay. Do you see that? See how, like, by me going and kind of loops it like that, left those little stack of dimes there? It left the little swirls in there? So, what I did, see, I'm not going to push this trigger because that would put an arc in our eyes. So,
what's an arc?
Well, it's the electricity that comes out of here. So if you look at that right there, this one, the gun was way too far away. See all those holes? That's porosity because the gas from the MIG can't get there in the shielding gas, so all those impurities and stuff are coming out. This one was once again too fast right there. You kind of worked in a, but it takes a little bit to get the technique. It doesn't happen overnight, right? So what I want you to do is try a straight line on this one. Once you go, just start going. Too far away. That's why it's popping like that. Hey, let's look at this one. That was much better. I didn't see the movement in the end, but overall, once you started, you were keeping something going there. Do you see that? See the difference with these two? Okay, so I want you to start back here and work your way across there, all right? That was much better. Closer.
What?
That tip was too far away that time. It needs to be closer.
Will you fix that?
Like this. Like you're supposed to. The tip's got to be really close. Okay? Oh, that was perfect. You had a really good one going. Let's look at that. Right here. Much better. Like, look at, I saw you working the tip. I saw you working the tip like that. Look at how much better that looks. See how it's wider? because you would be able to bring these two pieces together. So when you weld something like this, you want to get all of that together. That was much better. Closer, too far away again. There you go. That was so much better. Do you see that? That was much better. Now comes the test. I want you to do that along this edge. All right? We're gonna see if she can join those two together. Okay, hold up. Now let's look at that. So, if you were looking at that, what do you think happened? Do you think you were up on this top piece too much? So let's think about it this way. If you're kind of angled like this, going between the two, making little circles between the two, kind of bring up here. You kind of stayed like this. You see that? You're close. You're very close. All right, that started off really good, and then you started going really fast. Like it started off pretty, it's a little wide, but it started off pretty good. But then what happened when you started speeding up? See how it got thinner? It like thinned out and it didn't stay all thick at once. But try to keep running down that side. All right, let's see. That was better. It's a little wide. You're welding stuff together. How about that? I want it to look just like this. Just kidding, right there. Now think about it. You want about this angle here, 45, and just do this, okay? You got it. Now you start to stop. So you started moving too fast there and it started popping. You also got up on this side more. So we got to stay down in here, all right? So finish off the rest. That was going really good. That one was going really good. Just keep that up. Slow down. Slow your circles down a little bit.
Okay.
You want to go a little slower, all right? Uh-oh. Wandered off a little towards the end, huh? See that? You lost track of the line. It's okay. It takes a little bit. Don't be afraid to like get your face down in there like this. Like if you're back really far, like if you're back like this, trying to do it, it's going to be very hard. Like it's okay to like with that welding mass, to get down in there like this and see it. See that puddle. You're gonna see like, did you see a little red puddle right there? You're gonna see that puddle form and you're just gonna keep working that puddle, okay? There you go. That was going really good. Do you see that? That was looking actually really good right there. Too close. See how that time, did you see what happened there? It sputtered out. So that time we were too close. You know, that one was going really good. Look at that. That's her best one yet. Right there. You see how consistent it is? You see how you were working? You were going at an even smooth, right? So out of all the ones you've done, you're making progress, huh? And? Is it fun to weld? All right, let's look at that one. Wow. Now, towards the end, you started off good. Towards the end, you started pulling the torch. You started pulling the gun away. Like you started, so what was happening is you started close, you were going a little slow right there. And then you started pulling away, and that's where you're getting this going on. And you start, because I could see the tip getting further and further away. But could you tell the difference with the, that it was a little bit hotter? Look at that. Not bad for your first 15 minutes, huh? Every one of these got a little bit better.
That's yours.
She's doing awesome. So, just having a little fun, taking a little break from this project to give Ems her first welding lesson. Look at that. Not bad for the first 15 minutes of welding, huh? Straight down there, good coverage on both sides. We're just working on technique. But what you're doing is you're welding two pieces together, right? And that's the fun part.
Dad,
Yeah?
who taught you how to weld?
Me, it was just pure trial and error. It was a huge mess. I was trying to build a roll cage for a Jeep for the first time, and I'm sitting there trying to learn all this by myself, and I just made a complete mess of things. And then so I got pretty good at grinding. I'd spend a lot of time grinding, trying to clean things up. And I'm trying to prevent you from becoming a grinder, right? It's better to become a welder first than a grinder, right? I was a lot of trial and error, but eventually, just a little bit of practice, and you start gluing some stuff together. Was it fun?
Yes.
Yes? All right. Well, that's the good thing. All right, so I got my little helper here helping me drill out this hole a little bit bigger. Now what you got to do is hang on down here, Ems, because when that thing twists, it can rip right out of your arm. Feel that? There you go. You're almost through it. Just making that hole a little bit bigger. You're almost through. All right, now run it and then pull it backwards. There you go. Look at that. Now feel how there's a little lip there? What we're gonna have to do is take the grinder and clean that off. All right, Ems. This is the grinder. Grinders can be pretty dangerous. You want to hold on to them way back here. But what we're going to do is take the grinder and see where I marked right there. It's got a little curve. We're going to grind that down until we get all the metal removed up to that curve. You think you can handle that? Now you have to hang on to this very tight. If this thing slips or comes at you, it's super dangerous. Okay, you have, here, see this? There's a safety switch, and then there's a trigger. You can't pull the trigger without first hanging on the safety switch, then it turns on. Okay, now, all right. Now, wrap your finger there, and then, yeah, hold on back there. And what you want to do is angle it so you're like this. See that? All right, give it a shot. Alright, let's try that. So, Ems, this is called the sanding disc. See how it's like a bunch of sandpaper flaps that are rolled over? It's not quite as dangerous as a grinding disc. A grinding disc takes off a lot more material and makes a lot more sparks. But this is a good, safe thing to kind of learn with. It can't, you know, it can mess your skin up a little bit, but... Alright, let's try that. Alright, feel how there's a edge right there that could cut your finger? What I want you to do is use a grinder, go over that and smooth it down. Not like that. You can hold it flat. Oops, you okay? Hold it like this. There you go. Push the safety down. And try and get it like this, like that. There you go, see? Now, that's good. Now feel that. See how it's not sharp and won't cut your finger anymore? Alright, so I made some pretty good progress tonight. I've got my AA pillars pretty well figured out. All my bracing on the B pillar. And now I just need to finish my window nets and add a couple new tabs because I got a different light bar to go. A little bit more discreet looking light bar. Other than that, all my tab welding and stuff should be done here pretty soon. And then we can just focus on getting this thing all wrapped up and put back together. What I'm trying to do is figure out where I'm going to put my safety net. Unfortunately, the place that's like perfect little pocket to put that tab in there is slightly too low. I want to try and have as small a gap up here as possible. So I've got to make up a little bracket to weld right here so that I can try to get this up just a little bit more so there's no gap up there. So trying to make this safe. Alright, so last night when I was welding, last few days my TIG welder's been acting up intermittently. I'm not the best MIG welder. I prefer to like TIG weld on the roll cages and stuff because it's more forgiving. If you make a mistake, you just stop adding filler and just go over it again. Just do another pass and smooth everything out. And then all of a sudden, the weld would just blow out, you know, and I was trying to figure out what's going on. What on earth is going on? And so I did a little digging and I found that my hose, where it bends like this, had cracked and had a hole in it. So I was losing a lot of gas. That's why I wasn't welding very good. So I gotta see if there's a way I could fix that because I don't have time to order another hose before we leave. Maybe there's something I could wrap around it or something. I can finish MIG welding all of this, but I prefer not to. I'd prefer to just I prefer to do it all with a TIG welder. It just looks a little nicer. It's just more forgiving. So anyway, it's always something. I'm just trying to continue making progress. We've got our AA pillar, our bracing. I got our nets. Took me a lot of time to get those just lined up just perfect. And I'm just gonna add a couple more gussets, and I think we'll be done with the cage work, and then I got some more electrical work to do. So all right, so another late Friday night in the shop, and what I'm doing is trying to get these nets just perfectly centered between there and there. Now I had ordered some very nice custom Can-Am ones that filled in all of these. The problem is they weren't SFI rated. That's this guy right here. Window nets have to be SFI rated. So basically what I had to do was then rush and go to Summit Racing and try to get the closest fit that I could get for the window net. And from what I gathered in the rules, you can't have any gaps that your wrist could fit through on top and bottom. So I got the closest I could get to the window. Now the seat stops about right here, and then, you know, your hands are just right there. So I looked at a bunch of other pictures on what people were doing and have passed tech and before. So hopefully this should be fine. It looks tighter fitting than other ones that I've seen, but you never know. So anyway, the wrist can't fit past any of those spots. It's nice and tight. I've had to probably make like 20 different adjustments trying to get these in the exact spot. I got my AA pillar. I've got my extra bracing right here. My roof should be done in a couple more days. That's going to kind of come down to the wire. I'm going to change this out at the same time, put a kind of a more modern one on. Same thing over here. We've got Got the window net all installed. Took all the plastic and stuff like that that's right here. I was outside checking my wheel bearings. What I like to do is grease the wheel bearings, check the air pressure, just check the trailer for loose bolts and stuff like that. And I get to this one and I could hear a noise inside there that sounded more than just like the brake pads rubbing. And what it was is this whole little brake assembly just completely disintegrated inside of there. It's not the first time that I've seen this happen. They just have these like little keepers on there, and the little solenoid pack can just fall off and then just ride inside the wheel drum. So I'm gonna have to get a new brake assembly too. Usually they just sell those in kind of one assembly, but this is what we're checking for. I don't want to go 1,200 miles with this sliding around inside there. Yeah, it's just regular maintenance, checking things out.